Alexis, is this you?
Ways. Every man has come at her
Who is
sexual.
every man?
I personally, none of the men have come at me that way because I feel like men know who to play with.
Was that you, sis? Sound like you. Look like you. Okay. Okay. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Ready to Love season 9 episode. What is this? Episode 5, I think. Pajama Jam. If you're brand new to the channel, or a returning viewer that is just not yet subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoy it, and then leave some comments down below. Not a lot happened in this episode, but there's a lot to talk about. So my voice is not voicing. I've been gone all week, out of town. My voice is doing whatever it wants to. I done caught like a little cold from changing climate. So bear with me, y'all, okay? So the episode starts off at the men's lounge. So Tommy lets them know that Leylin went home. She has some personal stuff going on with her. So she's gone. So just the FYI. So Chaz is in his confessional saying that, you know, he's kind of disappointed because he was connecting with her. Why was he so sweaty? Did y'all notice that? Like, his neck was sweaty, the creases in his face, like, he was sweaty in that confessional. I didn't understand what was going on with that. But Tommy lets them know he's going to have a pajama party and to practice or to look out for intimacy and chemistry. Don't go in there and be inappropriate, but focus on those two things, right? We then get some dates. Dominique and Alexis, I don't see anything between the two of them, but I guess they do. They went to somewhere to get stretched. Okay. They talk about words of affirmations. Apparently Alexis is big on that. Dominique is not. He said that he grew up not hearing words of affection, so they don't do anything for him. His family wasn't one of those families that constantly said, I love you or anything like that. So for him, it's not something that he feels he needs. He's more of an action type person. And I feel like that's different for a lot of people, right? My maternal grandmother wasn't like that either, right? We didn't hear I love you or that type of stuff from her, but she cooked, she gave, like, if we needed money, she gave us money. We got whatever we wanted from her. You could feel her love, you know, through actions and through different ways. So my mom, having grown up in a house like that, didn't particularly care for it. So my mom is like huge with words of affirmation to me and my brother. So it just depends on how people are raised. I don't think there's a wrong or right way for that. So I think it just depends on the person. We then get LaRon and Vanessa. They're doing paddle board yoga. A mess. But LaRon couldn't stay on the paddle board. He couldn't stay on it. He don't have no balance, okay? LaRon got to learn to center himself. I actually like LaRon. I think LaRon is cute. I think LaRon has a good personality. I like LaRon. He's a twinge on the goofy side, but I don't think it's like overwhelming or anything like that. But him and Vanessa are not going to jail. Vanessa is too mature for him. So LaRon tells her that he's building like a profile so he can like try to keep track on all the different women so he knows what one person likes, what one person dislikes, whatever the case. Vanessa is like, well, everybody says you're a party boy. And LaRon is like, I don't know why I'm being labeled as that. Well, LaRon, because that's what you came in saying. You came in saying that you were a party boy. You came in saying that you go out Wednesday to Sunday. That's why they're calling you that. He explains to Vanessa that he works at home. He lives at home, obviously. But he works at home, so he's kind of always at his house. He's not going to be able to see, you know, people throughout the day unless he, goes out. He also makes the point to say that his party boy narrative that people are giving is not really true because sometimes it's just him going out to dinner with a friend or something to that effect. He's not out partying. But LaRon, you created this narrative, sweetheart. It's not like the ladies are just looking at you and assuming. You literally told these women that you're out. Your intro video is you being with two women that are like twerking in the bathroom. You put this narrative out. Nobody told you to come in and brag about being out, 4 to 5 days a week. That was on you. Nonetheless, Vanessa is just too mature for him. Vanessa feels that a person should compliment your life, like you both shouldn't have to, or you both shouldn't be, either one of you, I should say, shouldn't be trying to alter your lifestyle or change your life to fit another person. She likes Chaz, and that's who she's probably going to end up with. So we get to the pajama party. Jonathan lets Alexis know that he likes her. Want to put that out there. Dominique and Mika. Mika's not going to make it. Mika's not going to make it because 90% of these men want children, or want more children, and she does not. So she's not working with any of these men. But he tells her that he's never lost a friend. He's only lost relationships, and it was just from the mentality that he had going into them. But he feels that now he's mentally ready for a relationship. Mika finds out that Dominique wants kids, and that's it. She doesn't want any more. She has an 18-year-old, and I think she said 18 and 12? No, 18 and 6. She doesn't want more kids. So with Mika, if Mika does not want kids anymore, I like the fact that she is very upfront with the guys about it, so that nobody's wasting any more time with each other. But I also kind of feel like this is one of those, like, she's not even remotely open to having any more. So it really needs to be like, do you want kids? Do you want more? Like, immediate conversation, and then that's it. So she lets him know she doesn't want any more. And Dominic said he still wants to get to know her. Not in a romantic sense, but I guess just as a friend sense. But I don't. People are on this show. This isn't ready for friends. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. We then see LaRon feels the way that Koshia is not paying attention to him. She's talking to Justin. She's like flirting with him, telling Justin that he needs to gain some weight, he needs to put on some pounds, etc., etc. Tommy shows up, lets them know that the men are in power, okay? And that someone is going home at the end of the party. And it's going to be a very sad drive home in your pajamas, okay? Talk about a walk of shame. So Will is walking around telling all the ladies, yeah, somebody said I was sleeping on the floor. Somebody said I was sleeping on the floor. And his detective skills is that whichever lady reacts is the one that said it. So he goes up to Patrice and she was like, well, that's what you said. He then said that wasn't the exact conversation. Patrice said it was. Now, we don't know the conversation, okay? Like I said before, do I think that Will is sleeping on the floor? I don't. I don't. Do I think that Patrice might have just gotten something wrong? I do. But I think the way that Will is handling it is crazy. If somebody were to tell me, Tammy, you sleep on the floor. Tammy, you don't have a car. Tammy, you don't have a job. All these things, you know what I mean, that I know are not true, I'm not going to be offended by it the way that he is. So, Will said that he's a multi-millionaire and he doesn't need to sleep on the floor. Multi-millionaire? Multi? Okay. Okay. I just kind of feel like you can vindicate yourself without lying. Will is not a multimillionaire. I would be very shocked if Will was a multimillionaire. Will might have a multi-million dollar business, but Will is not a multimillionaire because multimillionaires are not coming on to a show like Ready to Love to find somebody. So we then get Mika and Justin. Mika is saying how she's not connecting with any of the guys. It's not that you're not connecting, Mika. It's that Mika has a very shallow type of conversation. We're not seeing her have like really fleshed out conversations, and you don't want kids. A lot of these men do. So she only likes Justin, I think, because he said that he's okay with not having kids. I don't think Mika really likes him. I think it's just a matter of, hell, this might be the only guy that's left. That's where I think that's coming from. But they connect, they click just a little. We then see LaRon. So LaRon is watching Koshia talk to Jonathan, okay? LaRon comes over and intercepts Koshia. She wants to link arms with him. He doesn't want to. He told her, nah, don't touch me, okay? They go sit down. He tells her that he reached out to her and she responded like mysterious. She's like been acting kind of funny towards him. She admits it. Doesn't give a reason why initially, but she admits it. So he wants to know like what's up with that? What's good? She said, or he then asked her like, "Have you changed your mind? I thought we were vibing." She says she has not changed her mind and that she just wants him to be able to go through the process and she can't harbor him away from everybody else. If that's the case, then they both should leave and just date. Now, on one hand, I get where Koshia is coming from, right? Y'all should explore the process and go through it and date everybody and see who else you're clicking with, who else you like. At the same time, though, Koshia, that doesn't mean that you cut him off altogether and start treating him differently. You can still vibe with LaRon while still getting to know William and Jonathan and Dominique and whoever else. That doesn't mean you have to cut him off completely and start, acting differently towards him. I don't think Koshia likes LaRon, personally. I think that she liked him in the beginning, but I think that the more that Koshia talks to some of the other men, she might just vibe with them or like them a little bit more. That's just my opinion. So then Maya comes to the table and it's like, LaRon, I got a bone to pick with you. You said I'm greedy. LaRon completely starts talking to Maya. Like, cause she is not sitting there. So Maya is like, you a party boy, you a party boy. LaRon gets up, goes over to Maya, and it's like whispering in her ear, stop that, stop that, stop that. Because now LaRon is self-conscious about the ladies calling him a party boy. Like, it was cool and stuff initially, but now that it's come out that like that's kind of like making Vanessa take a step back, now he's wondering how many other ladies are doing the same. So Koshia now feels away and she tells Chaz, who has come in and sit down next to her, that I'm arguing with a child. Kochia then flips it and it's like, well, I'm just going to sit here and soak in my misunderstanding and let you chastise me. Now, look, LaRon was not listening to her. LaRon was being very dismissive, right? I will agree with that 1,000%. But at the same time, Koshia was putting it on and acting manipulative. I think because Chad sat down next to her. I think if it was just Koshia and LaRon, I don't think she would have reacted that way. I don't. I don't think that it would have been, well, I'll just sit here and soak and I messed up. I don't think it would have went that way. I think it would have turned into an argument, to be real. But I feel like she was putting on. She was putting on. LaRon is telling you, okay, on one hand, On one hand, listen to both before y'all get in the comments and say, oh my God, I'm giving y'all both sides of it. On one hand, LaRon is feeling as if Koshia has started treating him differently without any type of communication. So he's just wondering, like, damn, what's good? So he's like kind of retreating into himself and pulling back, like, well, maybe she just don't like me like that. On the other hand, Koshia just kind of feels like I do like you, but I also want to make sure that you are getting I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of the process, and I am too. Koshia also felt disrespected by him getting up and going to talking to Maya. LaRon doesn't understand that part. I think that's the part that set Koshia off. I think the fact that Koshia is cool with Maya, I guess, or she's not bothered by Maya, is the reason she also didn't pop off. They both were in the wrong. Koshia starts crying. Chaz is like, so she's upset, man. What are you gonna do about it? I don't know. Something about Chaz comes off as performative. Do I think that Chaz is probably a good guy? I do. But I do think that something is very performative about him, right? So LaRon gets up, walks out, and Chaz is like, you walking away is being dismissive, but he gets up or is closing yourself off. So he gets up and walks away anyways. LaRon does. So Chaz and Justin go out and talk to him, and Justin is telling LaRon, you were dismissive to her. LaRon was like, no, I wasn't. I'm listening to BS. And Chaz is like, well, no, if you think that it's BS, then you're being dismissive. You can't be dismissive while listening at the same time, which is true. You can't. LaRon's issue is that he was listening to respond and not listening to understand, which I think was Koshia's problem as well. Koshia was dismissive. If we're being real, she was dismissive to LaRon's feelings too. She was. But I think LaRon was disrespectful in that conversation because if we're talking and you get up and you're laughing and grinning and skinning with another woman at the end of the table, I think that's disrespectful. So let me know how y'all felt about that. I think that Koshia was doing too much, but I also think that LaRon was doing too much, but they both made valid points. So they all are sitting around. They decide to play truth or sexy instead of truth or dare. Maya ended up twerking on Justin as her least connection. He was like, if I'm your least connection, what are you going to do if I'm your best connection? But okay. Will kissed Alexis' foot. Koshia said that LaRon, and she said the foot with the band-aid. I was like, oh, okay. Koshia said that LaRon is her top connection. He doesn't believe her, but she said it. So, oh, and then Maya, was it Maya? Was it Patrice? Patrice said that Chaz was the sexiest man there and said that all the ladies feel that Chaz is the sexiest man there. So, Jonathan had to whisper sweet nothings in his top connection. Top connection zero, I should say. So he's in his confessional. I've had a couple drinks. Let's do it. So he grabs Alexis and pulls her to straddle him. Pulls her to straddle him. And I don't know if he was kissing in her ear or if he was really whispering sweet nothings, but it made me think about this.
Ways. Every man has come at her sexual.
Every man?
I personally, none of the men have come at me that way because I feel like men know who to play with.
Men know who to what? Men know who to what with? Girl, like, okay, Alexis, you got too big for your britches. You know what I mean? You didn't even know these men to be vouching for them and writing for them the way that you have been. But you effed around and found out, right? You effed around and found out. Men don't play with me that way because they know this man just picked you up, made you straddle him, was doing whatever was going on by your ear, to the point that the other men was like, whoa, whoa. The other men were uncomfortable for you. Okay, Alexis. Pick me. Pick me. So Tommy comes in and says that it's a men's lounge. Asks the ladies to kind of step away. Before they walk out, Will does ask Alexis, "Is she good? Are you sure?" Goes to check on her. Don't really care for Will, but I did like that he did that. Shows that he genuinely does like and respect Alexis. So Tommy asks who everybody's top is. Jonathan, Will, and Dominique all say that Alexis is their top connection. Um, Chad still said Vanessa. I think somebody said Mika, and that was about it. We're not getting a lot of. Oh, I think Will said Maya, but we're not getting a lot of variation. All the men are like honing in on the same person so far. So the bottom ladies are Mika. She doesn't want more kids, and the guys see her just as the homie. They don't see her as anything more. And then Koshia, just because, it's Koshia. So they get outside, and Tommy has Will do the announcing. And Koshia is like, I know if it's Will, it's some bullshit. If it's Will, it's some bullshit. And it's like, Koshia, bring it down, sis. We don't find out who's going home. Personally, I think it should be Mika. Mika's not connecting with anybody, and it's mainly because Mika does not want any more kids. I think that is her biggest hang up. But let me know what you guys thought about it. Who do you think should go home? Who do you want to go home? Who do you think they're actually going to pick? And I will catch up with you guys in the next one. Peace.